Hello, friends. Welcome to this in depth exploration of the Israeli Palestinian conflict. Certainly, one of the most enduring and complex disputes in the modern history. Today, we will dive into the historical background, the significance of key territories like Gaza and Jerusalem. We will also be discovering the durations of the pivotal conflicts in both of these countries. This video aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of this multifaceted issue, offering context and insights into its evolution. So let's begin. Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a deeply rooted and complex political and territorial dispute centered in the Middle East. It has its origins in the late 19th and 20th centuries, but has evolved over time. The conflict has involved multiple wars, day to day clashes, and ongoing tensions. To understand this conflict, it is essential to delve into the historical context, the importance of Gaza and Jerusalem. Let's start by understanding its geographical location. These are located in the eastern Mediterranean region and shares borders with several countries. To the north, it shares border with the Lebanon and Syria towards the northeast, Jordan in the east, and Egypt in the south, whereas the Mediterranean Sea forms its western coastline. Today's Palestine refers to a geographical region in the eastern Mediterranean that includes the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Historical background. The conflict's historical roots are multifaceted. The Zionist movement, driven by the desire to establish a Jewish homeland, gained momentum in the late 19th century, right after the World War I, partly in response to anti-Semitic persecution in Europe under the rule of United Kingdom, the Greater Kingdom at that time. Concurrently, Arab nationalism was on the rise, with aspirations for self-determination among Arab communities in the region. During the British Mandate in 1917 to 1948 over Palestine, tensions escalated between Jewish immigrants and Arab residents. Jewish immigration to Palestine grew, leading to violence and unrest. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan for Palestine, suggesting separate Jewish and Arab states with an international administration for Jerusalem. The plan was certainly accepted by the Jewish leadership because this was in their favor, but rejected by Arab states and Palestinian leadership because they cannot afford to have their region divided in two parts, and secondly, the administration by the international governments, and this culminating in the First Arab-Israeli War in 1948. Following a 1948 war, which lasted about 13 months, resulted in the establishment of a separate state for Jews named Israel, and this war resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinian Arabs from their own homeland, and this resulted in the rise of the Palestinian refugee issue. The issue, which started with the Israeli refugees, has ended in making the Palestinian refugee in their own state. The situation escalated again in 1967, resulted in another six-day war. This resulted in the significant territorial gains for Israel, including the West Bank and Gaza Strip. This six-day conflict reshaped the regional landscape. Another 3 weeks war started with the attack of Egypt and Syria on Israel, named Yom Kippur War, that began in 1973. Since then, both of these states are in the state of the war, but at a smaller scale. The situation escalated in the first week of the October 2023, let's understand about the Gaza and Jerusalem, the main war zones. Gaza is a small but geopolitically significant territory bordering Israel, Egypt, and the Mediterranean Sea. Since 2007, it has been under the control of Hamas, a Palestinian group. Gaza holds a central place in Palestinian identity and resistance. For Jerusalem, Jerusalem is a city of profound religious significance for Muslims and Jews and Christians as well. For Muslims, it is home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock, both of which have deep spiritual and historical importance. The Dome of the Rock is a place from where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, ascended to heaven during the night journey called Isra and Miraj. For Jews, Jerusalem is home to the Temple Mount, a site where two Jewish temples stood in antiquity. The first temple built by King Solomon and was destroyed by Babylonians, and the second temple was rebuilt on the same site, was later destroyed by the Romans. The western wall, a remnant of the retaining wall of the second temple, is considered one of the most sacred sites in Judaism, where they believed to rebuild a third temple. Whereas for Christians, it is considered significant because it is believed to be the place where Jesus Christ was ascended. For all these three religions, Jerusalem represents a connection to their faiths, foundational events, and figures, which makes this city a profound spiritual importance. The Israeli Palestinian conflict has been marked by a series of war, disputes, and efforts, peace negotiations, which failed many times. But this time, the situation is much worse than before. International organization and peacemaking bodies and all the communities should gather to find a peaceful and a fair solution for both of these countries. Otherwise, as the war has already divided into two blocks, one headed by the Russia and the other by the United States, which is an indicator